Three. We are live on the Worldwide. We're not live on the Worldwide Sports. Excuse me. We are live. I'm so used to saying that. We are live right now on the Sports Atlas platform. As we just wrapped up the Western Conference Finals, the Phoenix Suns advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1993 after a 28-year absence. Congratulations to them and the entire organization on a job well done. I'm going to bring in my contributors. Let's bring in. Let's see who we have here in the waiting room. We have Mr. Ricardo ATN. We have Mr. Ziggy Zig. As I set up and I share this, gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good.
I'm going to begin sharing as you guys start to cook. Congratulations to the Phoenix Suns. There's a lot that we could get into with this, with the Phoenix Suns advancing. Um, Ziggs, my condolences, sir. I know how you feeling about the your
Why does
Clippers.
everybody keep saying my condolences? My boy wasn't even playing, so this has nothing to do with me. Carry on.
Okay, so therefore it has nothing to do with you. So, what are your thoughts here as the Suns advance to the finals for the first time since the Barkley era?
Man, listen, Chris Paul, he put the team on his back in the third quarter, and it was just an amazing thing to see. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns. They're a young, hungry bunch. They clearly wanted it more. They were showing it on the possessions. And soon I said while watching the game that whoever wins the third quarter is going to win this. Going to win this game. Going to win the series. Not the series. Going to win this game. And when I saw Chris Paul come out and just lighten it up, I basically said, "Yeah, that's it. The Suns are going to be in the NBA Finals." Paul George, I'm not gonna slander him. I'm not gonna slander him because he's been having a hell of a playoffs, but he definitely disappeared, and it showed. Definitely showed tonight. So again, shout out to the Phoenix Suns, man. They did their job. They got DeAndre Ayton into the game early in the first quarter, so that set the tone, and it paid off in the long run. It goes to show what CP3 can do to these teams, man.
Rick, you were on the soccer segment early on. You found your way to the live post game show here, which is now the NFL because we're used to seeing you. But what are your thoughts here as the Western Conference Finals wrapped up? Chris Paul goes to his first finals appearance. What were your thoughts overall?
Yeah, first off, on the Chris Paul note, like I like to see it. I love to see it just
Well,
because.
timeout. As you said that, we have a message from Mr. Greg Polius. He says that you're a low key Chris Paul hater. That's what he
Me?
says. Yeah, you.
I
That's
like.
he said. He said he spoke to me. He actually called me right before we went on. He said that Rick is a
Oh
low key
man,
Chris Paul hater. That's his
nah,
message. That's
nah.
his
Look,
message for you.
look. Here's what I'm gonna say about CP 3 to 6 days or CP 3 to 6 weeks. You know, whatever. Look, man. I like seeing the greats get get the flowers when they can. I'll be completely honest. As much crap as I may sling about CP with all the jokes and whatnot, I like seeing this. You know what I mean? Obviously, it was at the expense of my Lakers, but it is what it is, man. He is one of the best to ever do it, man. Like, and it's good to see him finally get a chance to get over that hump and get to a finals. Whether he wins it or not, it don't really matter. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but from a legacy standpoint, having that little thing attached to him, like, well, he can't get over to get the hump and get into the finals and whatnot. It's cool to see. I like seeing the greats get these types of accolades. You know what I mean? So shout out to CP. I think one of the things that is noteworthy is like Zig mentioned in the third quarter he just started cooking. Like what we saw from the Suns throughout the game was a nice even kill approach, man. Because Crowder came out lighting it up first. He got a little foul trouble. No big deal. Aiton out there cleaning the boards nonstop. You know what I mean? Booker had his little stretch where he was just straight Mamba mentality. And then CP came and said, yo, let's take this home, man. This is the game that I actually expected to see the other night. Because I was the one in the comments after they went up 3-1 saying, it's over next game. PG's going to fold. They're going to get blown out. Clippers going to tuck their chain in and hope that Debo don't see him. You know what I mean? This is what I expected the other night. So it was good to see this performance from Phoenix tonight to come out and say, "No, we need to put this thing to bed and get out to the finals." So amazing performance, man. Definitely. Shout out to the Suns, and we saw this in the bubble. We saw glimpses of this. This was the talk last year in the bubble where it was like, yo, if Phoenix could sneak into these bubble playoffs, what can they do? Well, now we're seeing it by sprinkling a little legend in there. So shout out to CP3, shout out to the Suns, man.
So final score here 130 to 103. Taking a look at the box score, Devin Booker finishes with 22 points. DeAndre Ayton finishes at 16 and 17, 41 for Chris Paul, 19 for Jay Crowder. People stepped up. On the flip side, we got Marcus Morris, 26 and 9, Paul George, 21 and 9, 13 for Reggie Jackson. Pat Beverly, real ignorant, real stupid at the end of the game. I don't know what Chris Paul might have said to him. Maybe he called him
Nothing.
a bitch. Maybe he called him a sucker. I don't know. Maybe
he said something.
He called him
it had to be early on because look, the clip,
he said something
the clip they showed right after. All he did was look at him. There was no words. When they came back from the commercial, they showed the clip. CP just looked at him. There was no words.
That man mumbled something under his breath.
He said something under his breath to him because it got to him. It worked.
But look, man, you can't be Pat Bev and do the types of things you do day in, day out in a game.
And not expected.
And then flame out like that. That's bitch made shit right there, man. That was
but look, it goes again to Chris Paul, man. I'm saying, like, he's one of the biggest irritants. He's been that way his whole career, right? And he got him twice. He got DeMarcus Cousins with the elbow, right? Got the technical for that. And then you got Patrick Beverly thrown out of there. And by that point, the game was already over. Once you start doing tactics like that, it's time to just pack it up and just
listen. I mean, everyone is saying, some people are saying in the comments that he didn't say anything. Something must have been said. You can't just look at somebody and they decide to push you.
No, you don't just
something was provoked. I had the feeling he said something under his breath, something that the camera didn't catch before the play. Chris Paul said something to him, and then I think the nail in the coffin was him looking at him, which was kind of like there's something has to be something for you to put your hands on him, especially late in the game. You're losing the game, unless you're really that petty and salty.
So and that's where I was gonna go, because they were definitely going at it all game. You know what I'm saying? They was going back and forth all game. So it could have been one of those things that escalate, and then you look up at the scoreboard and be like, damn, they kicking our ass, and he just put the dagger in there.
Yeah,
I'm petty, I'm tight. I'm ready to take a shower.
You can't do that though. You can't do that.
So before we talk about what's next for the Suns, because clearly, again, congratulations to them. Special shout out to James Jones.
I was just about to say that.
General manager, because I know they're doing the trophy presentation now. Wow. I felt like we needed to go before because I didn't want to lose any viewers. So I'm like, let's just go. But James Jones did an incredible job building this team and adding on, like you said, sprinkling with some Jay Crowder, some CP3, being able to get that deal. So low key, I always say a great team starts at the top with great management. So he did a great job being a general manager and using his resources as best as possible and using the connections he had when he was a player to build basically a finals contending team. But looking at the Clippers, we're definitely going to get into the Suns, but the Clippers, Kawhi has an option to opt out. And I think that's the big news coming out of the Clippers now. He has a major injury that made him miss, the Western Conference Finals. What now for the Clippers? Where do you go from here, Zix?
From here, what do? Of course, you try to get back Kawhi Leonard by any means necessary. I don't want to. Stephen A. Smith was talking some nonsense about the Clippers shouldn't extend the contract to him. That's the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. Don't come in here telling me that nonsense and telling me that Terrence Mann could supplant him. That's ridiculous. But Kawhi Leonard, you got to get him back. And I think most importantly, you got to get a point guard. We saw the duties where you had Paul George trying to play that point guard role. He can do it, but you can't have him do it for long stretches of the game because clearly he's going to end up fatigued. He's going to be fatigued, going to be tired. So
was that a shot? I love the hitless streets, boy, especially late night. We all too petty.
But you gotta get a point guard. You gotta get somebody to be able to facilitate, to be able to put guys in their positions to get quality shots. Rondo's not gonna do it for you. Pat Bev is not gonna do it for you. Reggie Jackson is more of a combo guard than a one. So I'm looking into that free agency pool, and I'm trying to see if maybe Kyle Lowry wants to take a run over here with the LA Clippers based on what Toronto is doing, because it looks like they may be starting a rebuilding process, especially with all this wild Pascal Siakam trade rumors to Golden State.
We see some people in the comments. Special shout out to Jen K, former colleague of mine from SJB, who pulls up late to the live. Got to throw a shout out to her. Rick, what are your thoughts here with the Clippers? Do the Clippers, where do they go next from here? It's
an unfortunate end, just because the the path couldn't have been clearer this season. You know, the way things kind of shaped out, it's kind of like a similar mindset. I'm sure we'll kind of talk about the East a little bit later, but kind of like the similar mindset we've been saying about the Bucks. It's like you may not have a clearer path. So granted, you have the caveat of not having Kawhi there, so that kind of ends up helping their case a little bit because you know that confidence that they might still be able to pull it off with the core that they have right now. They can still kind of believe in that, assuming they have a healthy Kawhi, you know. But Ziggs nailed it, man. It's got to be the point guard, and it's funny because you know you mentioned Kyle Lowry, and you know a couple of weeks ago that was the same kind of talk they was mentioning about the Lakers too. And it's like these are two teams that you look at, and that tiny missing component to really set them off and put them over the top is getting a consistent and capable point guard. So it is going to be really interesting to see the types of moves that are made in the offseason. But, you know, from the Clippers standpoint, again, number one, you got to make sure you convince Kawhi to stick around. He come back healthy and y'all try to run it back. But again, man, the path's not going to be any clearer than it was this season. So, you know.
Not at all. You got the Warriors loading up. You got,
Exactly.
you know, a team, the Lakers are going to load back up.
Mhm.
You know, the Clippers, clearly the Suns are going to be in the mix. Denver is going to be in the mix. Portland,
Yep.
who knows what they're
Still
going
out
to
here.
do.
Yep.
You know,
This was the shot.
This was the shot. You know, Greg is saying in the comments, can we talk about how Ty Lue made zero adjustments to how the Suns
tag me.
hot tag, hot tag. Like I'm hooking up tag.
That really annoyed me, man, because as I alluded to earlier in the broadcast, right, I said whoever takes the third quarter is going to win this game. I think the Clippers, they had got a little run going. There was a 10-point lead. They called Monty called timeout. As soon as Monty called timeout, Chris Paul comes out, hits a three, bang. Right, they go in. Clippers get the ball. I think Paul George turns it over. He elbows Devin Booker in the face, offensive foul. Chris Paul gets a lay, five points right off the bat. And that's what started that whole Chris Paul run. Who was missing from that floor? Terrence Mann was not on the floor to be able to try and check Chris Paul, and there was no Patrick Beverley, right? Patrick Beverley has been doing an awesome job, albeit he did that foolishness at the end of the game. He's been doing an awesome job defensively. So why not make that switch and put him back on the floor to be that little irritant for Chris Paul, especially in those pick and roll phases where Chris Paul is trying to get to the mid-range game. It was really bothering me because we didn't see not Paul George. We didn't see Patrick Beverley for that entire stretch. Chris Paul started in the third quarter, and then he came back into the game by the middle of the fourth. And by that point, the game was kind of already out of hand. So yeah, to Greg's point, it was ridiculous on Ty Lue's part. That might have been the fatal blow at the end of everything because they couldn't stop that run. They couldn't get stops, period, and then they couldn't stop that run, and that was it.
Now it's
funny you mentioned sorry, Carl, right out the gate, you mentioned coming out in that third quarter. You know, we was in the chat and we were saying initially where it looked like they was putting the clamps on CP, you know, and then out of nowhere flipped the switch and just went off on them. And to your point, there was no adjustment made to account for that.
It's 12:04 a.m. here on the East Coast. You know, my wife's birthday weekend officially begins today, July 1st, because I have to throw that out there that, you know, wife's birthday is tomorrow, right? So I definitely got to throw that out there for sure. But now I just saw the high volume mail, Mr. Paul Akizis, in the comment section and talking about how he's basically saying what he said. He said CP3 said fuck you, Karl Kulon. That's what he said, right? But you know, I'm here to, you know, I'm here to enlighten the people. This is what I do. I'm here to enlighten the people and tell people my perspective. I give Chris Paul his flowers. I've been notorious for many years, you know, hating on Chris Paul, and part of it is, you know, it goes deep because he's banana boat, and you know,
somebody tag Kenny too.
You know, yeah, you know, we've had a lot of flack for Chris Paul over the years, a whole lot of flack. He got here, and congratulations to him, an incredible feat leading the Suns team. I have nothing but respect for Chris Paul and doing what and anything I've ever said, criticizing was on his games and all his failures. Now he's here. I did the same thing to Dirk Nowitzki until he won the championship, and I gave him his flowers. And it was done deal. Chris Paul is here. Hats off to him. On the flip side, the last time I was here, I used this as a narrative because of Greg Polius. Now, disclaimer, this is not Karl Kulon speaking. I'm speaking on behalf of Greg Polius because knowing Greg Polius loves to use injuries as a narrative. And we know how that goes because he likes to say, well, if this player played, this team wouldn't have won. So For those of you who are listening out there, I'm sorry. I have to give people the backstory because this is what we love to do in the Sports Hitler streets. They're gonna sit here and say, "Well, it's my narrative, it's what I say." This is not what I say. Again, this is Carl Coulage acting as Greg Polius because Greg Polius loves to use that if narrative because when the Brooklyn Nets lost, and I'm going to use it verbatim, we sat here and we said, well, if they had Kyrie Irving, then they would have made the finals and they would have had an easy ship. And all their Nets fans got on that bandwagon and they said till the day it would have been the easiest ship that the Nets would have won had James Harden been healthy, had Kyrie Irving been healthy. So why can't we apply the same thing to the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the Clippers now with missing Kawhi Leonard? They were missing Jamal Murray, and they were missing Anthony Davis. Would we not be able to apply the same thing to say that Chris Paul got a little lucky? Or no, I'm not allowed to say that, right? Because that'd be called hating. Silence.
I mean,
wait, hold on, wait. I'm not doing this with you.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not silence. So it's silence.
I'm gonna just
silence right now.
I did this crap the other day. I'm not doing this with you. So he's.
But again, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm no. Listen. I'm speaking from an objective perspective here. Again, we love to use that injury narrative. We love to use it. That's fine. But then when Carl Coulage says no ifs, because my narrative is this: Chris Paul got there. I'm not looking at injuries. He got there. He played what was in front of him. Great job for him. He got there. On the flip side, to those naysayers who say, I can't say, oh, no ifs in sports. Let's apply the if scenario. If Anthony Davis plays, do the Suns get here? If Jamal Murray plays, do the Suns get here? If Kawhi Leonard plays, do the Suns get here? That's what the people say. So you can't possibly tell me to sit here and cancel my no ifs policy. Because again, when you say that to me, I'm going to say no ifs in sports. Chris Paul got there. He got there. He played the competition. This is what was in front of him. He played it. And I have no problem admitting that. I'm just saying my narrative for all those haters out there and I'm sick and tired of people tagging me in my own damn photo and then calling me a hypocrite for it. Y'all guys need to stop doing that. No, it's true. I'm sick and tired of people. Anytime there's an if in the Hitler streets, pull up Carl Coulage's picture, but then you're going to tell me I'm wrong? Get out of here, man. We got to stop that.
It's valid. It's valid. I said it in the comments the other day. I mean, you know, the analogy, the comparison is valid. You're right. You know what I mean? Because I'm somebody, I'll use ifs here and there. You know, again, I try not to use it often, especially on the injury point. Like I mentioned before, look, people get injured and it happens. You just got to roll with what you got. But, you know, I can't front. That's valid. Because, you know, if you're going to call the if for the Nets, then you got to call the if for CP and the Suns too, you know?
It's true. And then, oh, well, here comes Paul in the comments. Well, CP3 about to win a ship like Curry did. You see what I'm saying? Perfect primary example right here, right? 2015. Well, if Kyrie and Kevin Love were healthy, LeBron would have won that championship. And that's the only reason why Steph Curry won. You see what I'm saying? Falling right into the trap. It's exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When we start throwing the if word out here, we have to take it back. And I'm going to keep saying it over and over. Take it back to 1989, to Magic Johnson missing that game against Isaiah Thomas. Take it all the way back to that point. You want to start using the word if? Use it for every single injury scenario that happened in the finals. That's what we want to try to do now. That's what we want to do. Because it's not fair.
The vein.
I'm sick and tired, bro. I'm sick and tired of it. Because you know what? Greg Polius is going to try to play spin doctor on Friday and try to say, oh, that's a lie. I never said that, blah, blah, blah. No, I know you said that because you and Ray Jarvis deliberately said that, oh, you have to use the if scenario when it comes to the Nets. So why can't we use it for everybody else? Why not? This is what we're talking about right now. Again, congratulations to Chris Paul. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Can we talk about the Eastern Conference now, please?
No. You're getting mad because you know what I'm saying is true.
Because you've been doing this for like 5 days. Instead of arguing in the comments, you need to get Greg on the show.
Get Greg, right? Have Greg for
take my time and Ricardo's time.
No, it's my time now because you guys are gonna listen.
No. You had your time.
You know why? You know why? Because you can't choose a side. You want to go on Greg's show and say, oh well, I agree with you, and now I'm cooking you and telling you what I'm telling you the damn segment. That's why. That's why you're gonna sit here and listen. You went on Greg's show on Monday. No. You went on Greg's show on Monday. You're like, I disagree with Carl Coulage and blah, 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 blah. Because you can't answer my question.
You can't say if. I told you that you can say if. If Kawhi Leonard plays, the Phoenix Suns are not winning shit. You could say that.
That's fine. So that means okay. So that means Chris Paul.
Why can't I say that? And I'm not saying
Chris Paul got lucky.
I know easy run. That was the whole.
That was an easy run, right? It's an easy run.
Easy run.
Is it not an easy run?
Easy run.
Why is not an easy run? Why not?
Because had it been a couple of free throws different, who knows what we're talking now? We're not talking the Phoenix Suns up. This is not an easy run. This was not an easy series. If you ask Chris Paul, you ask Monty Williams, has this been an easy series? They would say, fuck no, it was not. Cut your shit, Carl.
I'm just trying to prove a point. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, cursing. And another point I want Greg to understand with this whole listen. And another thing I want Greg to understand when it comes to this if scenario, right? The players don't use it. That's my whole overall point is the players don't say, you never go into a post game. Kid you not, Ty Lue in the post game and Paul George are not saying, well, if we had Kawhi Leonard, we would have won the series. So why is our fans allowed to say it? And the players
saying it in the locker room, though.
No,
saying it in the locker room.
Don't think they thinking that? Don't think they thinking that?
You better be careful.
They're saying it in the locker room. Come on.
listen. They're not saying it in public, but I'm just throwing it out there.
And look, Pat Bev right now, man. If I ain't get ejected, you know, we'd have cooked them fools, yo.
Yo, listen. We got to keep it a buck. We have to keep it a buck. We understand. The reason why I say no ifs in sports, I'm tired of people just using excuses. That's my overall point of the whole narrative. It's not just to try to. It's again, we have to stop using excuses. You play who's in front of you. And I'm sick and tired of people having to use that as a reason to say, well, you know what? If this happened and that happened and that happened, you can't prove that. No one can. And Israel tried to prove like, oh, you can prove an if. No, you can't. Shut up. Stop it. You can't prove an if. Okay,
he lost an arm or something, right?
No, I don't know what he lost. You can't prove an if. You can't prove ifs.
Everybody talking about. Let me just make sure I tag him.
You know, who tag it? You can't prove ifs.
Pull up.
This is why I get so upset, and people why the vein pops on my head is because I'm sick and tired of people trying to tell me you can prove. You can't. So just understand, again, injuries do happen, and we can't seem to accept that. They do happen.
If that's the case, then why don't you get Job and Greg on the show so that you can do this one more time?
What's the point? But there's no point because they don't want to hear what I have to say. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept it. They came at me for no reason. I was minding my business sitting here in Rosedale, and they came at me for no goddamn reason.
Always minding his own business.
I was minding my business. All of a sudden, Greg Polis wants to make proclamations. Oh, burn the shirt. You can't burn the shirt of the EP and the head of the table. What's wrong with you, boy? Get out of here, man. You can't do that to me. Okay, now we can move on to the Eastern Conference. I just had to get that out there. And the comments go. The more I talk, the more the numbers are going up. So maybe I should continue going on. I don't know because this is crazy. There are no ifs in sports, only facts. Give me the facts.
Sorry. Now you got jaw tight.
What, really? Why? What I said is true. But why? What I said is true, though. He was sitting here crying for Kyrie Irving last week, all of a sudden now, and then the minute I tried to tell him about CP3, it's the same thing. What's the difference? Talk basketball. Ray Jarvis is the first person who wants to sit here and say, oh, Carl, talk basketball. I'm talking basketball to you, but you're not listening. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like, what's the difference? What's the difference between the Nets getting hurt and the Lakers and the Clippers getting hurt? It's the same exact thing. So there are no ifs in sports, period. You can either accept it or you don't. I don't understand.
You see what happens when we're this is like a common theme now. It happened last year too. We get into the summer and we're left with just boring ass baseball as a sport to watch. That's when beef pops off. That's when all the beef pops off.
Bro, but listen.
Start thinking, damn, all we got is baseball on the horizon and beef pop off, yo.
We're talking basketball, bro. That's what I have a trouble understanding. And again, Ray, I'm being serious. That's what I have a trouble understanding. We're going to use the Nets narrative as them getting hurt. We could apply it to everybody else who got hurt. Why can't we?
No, that's valid. I agree with that. Like I said, I'm an if guy. I'm a somewhat if guy myself, but you know what I'm saying, when you lay that out, I was like, it makes sense because you got to apply it everywhere. And once you start applying it everywhere, it doesn't stick. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You roll out the team you got and you hope for the best, man.
Moving along to the Eastern Conference, we have that series tied 2-2. The Suns are going to be sitting pretty waiting. They have home court going into the finals. Clearly, Giannis not playing, another factor of another injury. Even Trae Young too. There's no timeable set for Giannis's return. Trae Young, I guess, is day by day as well. How do we see this series finishing out, Rick?
Man, right now as it stands, man, Atlanta looking poised to shock the world. You know, Giannis going down in the game is completely different than coming into the game with knowing that you ain't gonna have Trae. You know what I mean? So obviously Atlanta was able to prepare accordingly and have a game plan in place to account for the fact that they weren't going to have their star player. You know, a little different on the other side when you lose your star player during the game. I get that. With that said, the game plan Atlanta put in place, man, the others came to play, man. But Bogdanovich balled out. You know what I mean? Lemon Pepper Lou came out there balling straight from Magic City. You know what I mean? You got Herder, you know, doing his thing still. You know, like these kids. Was it Reddish came out and dropped some buckets out there? Like these kids came out and played, and they stepped up in their roles, and they won a really really big game. And even before Giannis went down, they was doing their thing. You know, so the fact that they were able to get that type of contribution from the rest of the team, knowing that Trey was down, that's extremely promising going into these next couple of games. Now, you look on the flip side, again, we've had a lot of things going back and forth about, you know, what Chris Middleton can do on his own or as the one. We're going to find out. That's been the narrative. We're going to see, you know. I don't trust the collective group of offensive talent on the Bucks as much as I do on the Hawks right now. Not to say that you know it's a better team one way or the other, but based on what I've seen in this series so far, when you got both of the stars out, if I'm gonna ride with one collective group over the other, right now it's looking like Atlanta's got the hot hand, man. So if these kids keep it up, man, it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting as hell to be looking at a Suns Hawks finals, man.
Ray Jarvis has a lot of energy from the
Yo,
from the
I'm sorry.
MVP.
That's what I'm laughing at. I was listening to Rick talk, and I'm just like, yo, wait, Jarvis just going in.
Listen, I mean, listen. If he wants to come in, he can come in. I don't care. We'll pull him. I'll pull him in the car right now if he wants to come in. I'll send him the code right now. I'll
That's
send him
what
the
we've
code.
been saying. You need to send him the code.
I'll send him the code right now. I'll pull him right and send him the code right now.
Yo, real quick, let me shout out my guy Eugene, man. I know.
Oh yeah, he got that for you too, Rick.
Yo, listen, nah. Me and him be going at it, man. But I low key appreciate that kid, man. He be all right, man. You coming up. You got some crazy takes here and there. You know, you definitely got to make sure you take them L's a little better. But I rock with you, man. Shout out Eugene, man.
Let me see. I'm trying to see maybe if Greg wants to come up too. I don't know because the comments were we had to hide 25 people watching. We want to give him a show late night. I'll give him a show. I'm right here.
Hey,
I ain't going nowhere. I mean, it is what it is.
It's officially July, man. Fireworks.
It's July. I'll give him I said it. Let's see who bites.
Fireworks, man.
Let's see who bites. I don't know. Let's see who bites. I said it. Let's see what happens.
You sent it to Greg and Joff?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna just sit back and I'm gonna turn my camera.
I'm waiting.
I'm good. I'm just gonna grab a beer and enjoy the front row, man.
I'm waiting. Let's see what happens.
Rated R at night.
Yo.
Listen. Tick tock. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they actually come or we just waited out and just played out all summer. I just want to just to give the people a little preview because Greg says we like to give people previews, right? So open the floodgates. Let's see what happens. We got the main event right now, and again, we got 18 people watching, and it's going up as it is as the comments because I made my proclamation. Again, those are not my words. I'm just basically telling what people told me. So
they about to come in and light your ass.
Guns blazing.
I just want them to answer my. I just want them to answer my question. That's it. Just answer my question. It's not me talking spicy. It's me just asking an actual factual question. It's just seeing if they actually answer. That's it.
Okay, brother.
Let's see if they show up.
So Zig, what you got on the Eastern Conference Finals, man?
While we wait for Tom or Greg,
let's see.
The Eastern Conference Finals. Me personally, man, I'm going with what you said, man.
Ray says, "Nope, I got my bonnet on." Respect. Okay.
Oh.
Hey, yo, post the people, it ain't real, yo.
Eddie, don't do that. Eddie said I talk like my Rob Parker. You're the first person to use my picture, and then you want to tell me sit here and talk about ifs, talking about Kyrie. Shut up. Sit down. Don't do that. No, we're not doing that with you. Don't even do that. Don't even try it. Let's see. Is Greg coming? I should give him a call. He should be coming. I'm waiting.
All right. How you know Greg ain't got some
He literally just called me before we went on live to tell Ricardo his message. So he's got to be on here. He's gonna be on. He's gonna find some way to get on here.
I didn't know I was a CP hater like that. That's what they calling me in the streets, man.
That's what he said. He said no. You have to use the words properly. He said low key. That's what he said.
I go front. I'm taking some shots. I see.
Nah, Joff, it's not stepping on the main event, Joff. Come through.
It's not stepping on the main event. It's adding to the main event, my brother.
It's like Undertaker making a quick appearance.
It's a running. Yeah, that's it.
It's a running, bro.
It's a quick running, yo.
It's a quick running. Greg in bed.
Run in, clear the ring, leave. That's it.
We here live on the Sports Hitlers having a good time. Rick's having his. Is that another prestige you got going?
Nah, no prestige right now. I'm rocking with a longboat right now, man. Little Hialeah.
If Ricardo gets a drink, can I smoke on live?
No,
Yo,
This
look, I ain't gonna front. I seen something in your hand. I wanted to ask. I was like, yo, what's going on?
is late night. If this is late night, man, you guys are killing me here with the late
After
night.
dark, man. Come on.
Should I give Greg a call? I don't know if he's gonna come through. Like, you come, like, let me send him a text. What's up?
I just wanted to check for my brother Anthony.
Oh, for Anthony, I'm sure. Yeah, and no, you see, because then that opens the can of worms for him. You know, I already know how you do. That's
all the worms right there.
Wow, Mike Miller just said salute to Chris Paul making the finals. That's dope. That's what Mike Miller said.
That's respect. That's respect.
That's respect. That's respect.
That's respect, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to give CP his.
No, I'm giving him his flop, bro. Listen, I've said that.
There's no denying. There's
no denying. I've always listen. I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong, and I've given him a lot of flack over the years. I give him his flowers. I give him, like, for Chris Paul, and you can see the emotion on his face and how happy he is for him to finally get his due justice to make it to the finals. Absolutely, and there's no question about that.
Even more than that, not only just making it again from that third quarter on, he flipped that switch and was like, "No, we out of here. Like, this is it. We ain't playing with these guys no more." You know, so for him to be able to close out that game the way he did, like, he was on at the end of that game. So he definitely did his thing.
Yeah, Greg's got to be up because he's in the comment. He's in the group chat. He's got to be up. Maybe he's loading up to come on. I don't know. Maybe he won't come on. Maybe he'll just save it for Friday because I know how he do. Oh, here comes Jav. Yeah, I knew it.
Glass shatters. Stone cold.
Mr. Jav, welcome.
Off real quick, you know what I mean? I really had the bonnet on too. I had to take that off real quick.
Listen, we got to give the people what they want, brother. Let's go.
Yeah, I had to do the running, bro. Like this.
Yeah.
Carl, bro. Where's the nuance, bro?
I asked the question. I asked the question.
What's the question? Repeat it for me, please.
You was on Smoke and Mirrors, and you said that you can use ifs in sports because Kyrie didn't play and James Harden was on one leg, so they would have won the series. Did you not say that? My youth.
So you got me coming here after hours to miss Reggie?
But what did you not use that argument?
That's not what I said, Carl.
What did you say?
Carl, I gave you the whole pie chart breakdown on Smoke and Mirrors.
But you basically tell me you can use ifs. Is it not? Isn't that what the point is that you can?
Absolutely. You know what's funny? You tried to write off the homie Israel, and 9.5 times out of 10, I disregard what Israel says. But he made a great analogy. And we have a fight, right? We get it shaken. Like, I'm punching that bozo Eugene in the face, right? And I have two hands. And I punch him in the face, and I win the fight with my two hands. And they take one of my hands away, and I lose the fight. The evidence supports the fact that when I had two hands, I beat his ass. So I don't understand how you telling me is that if there's evidence to support the fact that when you had AD, we were putting a pause on the Suns. The minute AD hurt his groin, the series was over. That's not an if. Matter of fact, we gotta take it to college. We can take it back to our early college days, fellas. It's called deductive reasoning, Carl. The evidence is right there. It's not an if. It's deductive reasoning. You don't have to reach far to get the response or the result.
They're not listening. You see what I'm saying? That's my overall point.
You asked me a question and I answered it.
Right. So again, we have to apply the if to every single injury that's happened in NBA history.
We're applying deductive reasoning because we're intelligent, right?
So now it's deductive reasoning. It's not applying the if,
It's been the whole time.
Oh my goodness.
Call it an if. You call it an if. Carl, from the time you got to know me, I've never subscribed to what you said. You know that.
I know you haven't, but you should.
Because it's not factual. It's just it's a point of view for a person who picks and chooses when to apply it.
That's not true.
Because I already checkmated you a year ago with that. We don't got to
go back. I've admitted to that. No, we can't go back in the past because I've admitted to that one.
I did it already.
Yes, because I've admitted to that one though. I've admitted to that one. Greg, you pulled up.
Wait, so you admitted to it if that's what you're saying?
Before I came up with my narrative, I did. Did you not listen to what I said or no?
The shirt was already made, Carl.
Oh my God, you're not listening. You're not listening. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They're not listening now. Greg, you're here. Go ahead.
I am listening.
I have a question, Carl. Why are you so full of shit?
How?
Straight out the gate.
How?
Straight out.
Tell me how.
You just be out on here lying.
How am I lying?
You speaking English, but I'm hearing Creole.
Damn. Disrespect.
You're not even giving my perspective properly. I never said if Kyrie was hurt, was healthy, they would have won. I said if there's a difference factor, series would be different if AD was healthy. And I also said The Suns had not played any elite guard play until the Clippers. So if they get there and they lose, it wouldn't shock me either. And that is not me saying.
Lose.
But my point is, Carl, your whole narrative of CP3 is a fraudulent run is bullshit.
It's not my narrative. You see, this is why I say that's not my narrative. This is what you have to understand, which is why I said I don't use ifs in sports. I gave Chris Paul his flowers. He got there. You're telling me, but you're saying so now. No, it's not Carl. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Did you or did you not say that about Chris Paul? Did you say that? Yes or no?
Oh my God! Did I not say that? Those are Greg Polius's words.
No,
did you not? That's what I'm saying. I'm answering your question. That's not my words. Those are not my words. This is what I'm talking about. You see what I told you? This is what they were going to try to do when they came in. No, I'm not getting my Anthony Miller on. No, we're not doing that right now. We're not doing that. Well, no, we're not doing that right now.
You're getting defensive because you know you said it.
Listen, that's not what I said.
I never once said Chris Paul had a fraudulent run. How could me saying that they haven't played any elite guard play until the finals?
You don't listen.
You're not
listening. You're not listening. Listen, take the earphones and listen. That's not what that's not what I said.
Yes or no?
That's not what I said.
So what did you say?
You said that was my narrative when I never said that.
I said that's applying Greg Polius's logic.
That is wrong.
That's applying.
Which is why I came on asking you why you're full of shit.
I'm not full of shit.
Because it's wrong.
It's not wrong. No, it's not.
My narrative has always been you can apply ifs in all factors of sports because context matters, Carl. The Suns would not match up well if AD was fully healthy or if LeBron was fully healthy. Yes, they won the series. But we cannot say for a fact that if LeBron and AD were healthy, that the Suns would win. Because guess what? If they were healthy, it's very possible that would be a different outcome.
So then what's the point of putting the if scenario in context at all, even using it at all? What's the whole point?
Because we discuss sports. What kind of nonsense you asking me?
No, it's not nonsense. Don't even say it at all. It's not nonsense. Don't even say the word at all. Don't even say the word at all.
It really is.
No.
Don't even use the word at all. Do not use the word at all.
Let me ask the smart guys here, because Carl just wants to yell and tell us we're wrong. If you have a pie chart, right, and 65% of your pie chart is dedicated to two individuals, right? Or let's say 60. Let's keep it simple, right? And the other 40% is dedicated to, let's say, about, 7 or 8. You get rid of 30% of that pie chart. What do you have? You have an issue.
I teach math.
You have a massive problem. That's not an if. That's not an if, bro. If you take 30% of your 100 off, you only got 70. That's basic math. What are you talking about, Carl?
So Rick, you're a football guy, right? Let me ask you a question. If Pat Mahomes had his 2 starting offensive linemen, does that game not go differently?
Yeah, likely. Yeah.
So Rick, let me ask you a question.
Likely. I'll give you that.
Everybody
Rick.
ask me
Carl,
no, wait, I'm not done. No, let me ask you questions. Let me ask you a question.
Your food off your plate.
Let me ask you a question now. No, Rick. Let me ask you a question now. What difference does it make? They still lost. What's the point of bringing? What does that do? What does it do to you?
It's
nothing.
Conversation,
It does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It's false hope. It does absolutely nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It does nothing.
I got y'all.
Now I'm gonna not play fair before I go back to bed. I hired the best producer in the game, Carl Coulange, to run the sports hit list, right? But then Carl somehow twists his ankle on the way to work. So I gotta have my C-level producer run the show, and the show is hot garbage. I'm wrong to say that if Carl hadn't twisted his ankle, the show would have been lit?
Silence.
It's never happened because it's an if scenario. It's never happened. It's not gonna happen. It's never happened. I will be running the show from the hospital bed. I will be running the show from the hospital bed.
So let me get this off.
Listen, I will be running the show. Listen, to answer his question, I'll be running the show from a hospital bed.
Listen.
And this is what I mean. You're full of shit.
Hold on. Real quick. Let me say something real quick. I hope everybody who's watching right now is appreciating the type of shenanigans that are going on in Greg's neighborhood right now.
There was a garbage man who just passed.
Yo, I could have sworn your neighbor was burying a body at one point. Somebody just rolled through with a shopping cart. Yo, son, this is too much. This is too much, yo.
I saw that, but I didn't want to
Yo, before I go, because I got like 5% battery left.
Oh, man.
Carl asking a question like, what are we even talking about if we bring up if? It's right. You were the same guy that brags about the fact that we was arguing about cereals on a sports live. We can talk about anything.
That's fine. But you see, I agree with you there. So that means I can talk about not using if. That's okay. No?
He might have died.
That
His
battery, yeah,
His
battery might have
His
died.
battery died.
Or he might have got by the hood, man. This block is hot right now.
Oh man, that was fun. That was fun to have a little preview to that debate and have these guys pull up last minute. I don't know if he's gonna try and come back in, but I think that does it for the show. I mean, there's nothing else to end it.
Nah, we can end there. See,
Is that again?
we can end there, bro.
Yeah,
that's
listen. You guys take care. Have a good night. Tomorrow night, I'm not sure if we'll be back for a post game because, as I told you, it's my wife's birthday weekend. I'm going to dinner, so it depends what time I get back. And I don't want to ruin her birthday weekend. If I could slide in another extra live, I'll try my best. If not, you won't see me again until Tuesday because the entire weekend. Well, yeah, the entire weekend is dedicated to her and our 6-year wedding anniversary. So that's on Monday. Her birthday is on Friday. So you guys take care. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to all Hitless content. Shout out to Greg and Ray for pulling up last minute and making an entertaining night, late night Hitless hours. We see the garbage man passing there. We see Ziggy's blunt appeared in the live. I mean, it's just out of control at this point. But I'm glad I was able to entertain y'all. We got our boy from St. Francis. You went to go see him in LA. What's his name? He just pulled up to Ruga. Shout out to Ruga. He just pulled up. Congratulations for what? Getting people to tune in late. That's what I do. We made an event. That's what we do out here. Congratulations to my wife. Yeah, you saying congratulations to my wedding anniversary. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate that. And I'll talk to you guys soon. This was fun, man. I really don't want to log off, but I think everything was said after Rick said his comment. That just basically ended the whole thing.
I'm gonna rewatch just so I can examine all the different things that was going on, man.
You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you guys soon.